So it's currently snowing outside. It's March, gotta love March. Anyway, I was thinking today would be a good soup day, which is probably one of the best one-pot wonders, right, for families. You can make it as hearty as you want. A lot of it is chock full of veggies and meat. You can throw pasta in there, which I'm going to do today. So we're going to make a chicken orzo soup. So let's get started. I love leek. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is to kind of get a nice flavor base on the bottom, which technically is all your aromatics, your carrots, your onions, your garlic, your celery. I like to put leek in there too. If you don't have it, don't worry. It's just a nice extra oniony vegetable flavor. I just love it. It's not as potent as an onion, but it just still has that great, just awesome flavor, and it like sort of like melts in your mouth. So anyway, to clean a leek, and I'm sure that I've said this before, probably in one of my other videos, but if you have not heard, best way to clean a leek is you want to go with the tip of your knife, kind of run down like that, and then turn it a quarter of the way and do it again. So you're cutting the leek into quarters, and then kind of looks like this little octopus. And then what you want to do is you want to take it from the base and you want to run it under cold water, run it away from the root. This way, if there's any dirt in there at all, you can get it out. Sorry, my back was turned to you. So that is the leek. So we're just gonna kind of roughly chop this. Let me get rid of the little dry ends. And you definitely only want the white and the light green parts, because the darker greens are not, they're great to make stocks with. I mean, you could definitely hold on to them and make a nice vegetable stock, but they're not really that great to eat. They're not like the tender part of it at all. So there are the leeks, and then we're gonna head over here. I'm gonna peel these carrots real quick. And over my little garbage bowl, because my garbage can is all the way across the kitchen. So a lot of like soup recipes I find kind of have like, they always tell you like, oh, 2 carrots. And for some reason, I feel like that's never enough. So usually when a recipe says to me 2 carrots, I use 4. Because I never feel like there's enough of carrots in a soup for some reason. I mean, like if you're not a carrot fan, by all means, just go with the 2 for the flavor and be done with it. But everyone is always looking for carrots in my house. So I'm gonna do 4 nice sized carrots. I'm getting carrot peels all over the place. It's gonna be a fun cleanup. And, oops, one more. I thought I was done. I'll tell you, the one thing I do like about this guy is you can go in both directions, which is actually kind of cool. Not every peeler does that. This is an OXO. If anybody is interested, just kind of quickly shaves all that stuff off. Okay. Get this out of the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take the top and the bottom off of each of them, because it's kind of dry. And, I mean, you could do small rounds like that, but once it gets to the thicker part, a lot of times, I'll cut it in half and do like half moons. Rolling onions. This one's pretty same size all the way through, so I'm just gonna go with rounds on that one. This one definitely cutting into half moons. So, I mean, I think the chopping and the prepping, you know, of the soup is probably what takes the longest. But even at that, it's only a few minutes. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so we are gonna go in here. I'm just gonna put all the veggies that I'm chopping in one bowl, except the garlic. I kind of just put that to the side a little bit because I always add that in a little bit later. And then we have some celery. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are not fans of celery, but the flavor that it gives to any soup or stew, it's like, I feel like when it's not there, you feel, you know, you taste the difference. I mean, not that you're gonna say, ooh, I like taste celery, but I don't know, it's just got such a great flavor base. We're gonna go ahead and chop up that. And then we have one yellow onion. You could do white onion, you could do yellow onion, just not red. Red is not my favorite for soups, unless you're making a French onion. French onion soup, I like to use a little bit of everything. That might be the next soup on my list. With this weather lately, it seems like we should be having more soup than spring, you know, spring peas and all that stuff. Although, you know, I get to this point in March and I feel like everybody just wants the warmer weather, which kind of changes my like, not my taste, but it changes like what I want to eat. I'm like, okay, I'm done with like rich, you know, comfort foods, and I kind of want to like lighten things up. Good news about this soup is, despite the fact that it's really hearty, it's not heavy. So, because really, I mean, it's just all vegetables and herbs, and then I'm gonna use chicken breasts, and they're just gonna, you know, they're gonna cook in the soup, and then they're gonna cook in the soup, and then you can just shred them apart. After they've boiled in the soup for like 20 or 30 minutes. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bouquet. Oh my goodness, those onions were potent. I'm going to make a little herb bouquet here, and I have some thyme, I have dill, and I have parsley. I think that these are some really great Mediterranean flavors, which I love. So get some parsley. And you know, it's really good. It's like if you have parsley, like, you know, that you've kind of, that are like the stalks, or like, you know when you kind of like rip your parsley apart and then there's still stalks on the bottom, don't throw those out. Use those for things like this. Because actually the stems have more flavor than the leaves. So I'm just gonna get a piece of, where's my kitchen twine? I'm just gonna get a piece of my kitchen twine, and I'm gonna just wrap this all together so that I could throw this in while the soup is, you know, kind of boiling away, or simmering away, I should say. And the only other thing I have to chop up is the garlic, and then we're gonna start putting the soup together. So we're gonna start with a couple tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of a nice stock pot. We're gonna do like medium-high heat. We're gonna get the oil nice and hot. Because then we're gonna go in with all the vegetables except for the garlic. We'll let the vegetables kind of, you know, cook for like maybe 5 to 7 minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the garlic just until it's fragrant. And then we're gonna kind of hit it with a little splash of dry white wine and a little bit of lemon juice. And then, all right, this is feeling hot. And then we're gonna go from there. Oh, sizzle. My favorite sound in a kitchen. Oh, let me grab guys can see. Maybe I should move this a little closer. Woo, sorry. All right, so kind of want to toss this in the olive oil. Kind of make sure that it coats, gets everything coated. And then we're going to go ahead and season it with salt and pepper. Don't be shy with your seasoning. I would say about 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. You could do more if you're really a serious black pepper fan. And then let's go in with a teaspoon of kosher salt. If you do not have kosher salt and you are using table salt, like iodized salt, maybe half that, because it's a little bit, it's definitely more salty, and you definitely don't want to over salt, because that won't taste so great. I'm just kind of breaking up some of the onions that decided to clump together here. And you're gonna see, like, I'm gonna let this kind of like saute a little bit for, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes, until the vegetables start to get a little softer. And then we're gonna add the garlic, and then we're gonna go from there. So this has been cooking down for about 5-6 minutes. The leek are like nice and soft now. Obviously the carrots are still a little bit firm, but the onions, the leek, the celery have softened. The carrots will typically take longer to soften, obviously, and the bigger the chunk, obviously, the longer it'll take. So, but it's good enough now where I think I can go in with my garlic. I chopped 4 cloves, because as you all know, I'm a garlic nut. If 4 is seeming a little too much to you, use 1, use 2, use none. If you're not a garlic fan, I don't know if we could be friends if you're not a garlic fan. I mean, you have to like garlic just a little bit. It's so good. So we put the garlic in. Now already, like, you could smell it, right? It's fragrant. So I'm gonna go in with, we're gonna call this about 1/3 cup of white wine. And I'm going in with a little bit of lemon juice. And cool tip, if you don't have like a lemon juicer, like I don't have one of those juicing things, just do it over a little sieve. And this way, if there are any hidden pits in there, they will fall into the sieve and all the juice will go out. See, look, we got some pits in there. I feel like everybody has those strainers, like the one that comes in like 3, like the big, medium, and small. So, especially any married couple, I feel like it was on every registry ever known to man. So, ooh, see, like you smell like the white wine and the lemon. Totally awesome. So now I am going to kind of throw this little bouquet of herbs in here. I'm just gonna kind of like mash it around like with the veggies. Get it a little like wet with the juices. See, like the wine is already like reducing, and the lemon juice is already reducing. And then we're gonna go in with the stock. Kitchen Basics, one of my favorite stocks. If I don't have homemade stock, Kitchen Basics, awesome. So this box is equivalent to 4 cups of chicken stock. If you are stretching $1, and we want to make sure that we have enough liquid in here so that the chicken can really cook, and that the orzo, the orzo will eventually, the orzo is the last thing you put in anyway, but it takes up the juice. But if you don't want to use 2 of these boxes, because I know that they're super expensive, we go in with 4 cups of the chicken stock and 4 cups of water. There is enough flavor in all of those veggies and the chicken that the 4 cups of water is not going to make a difference. So that's a little bit, of a good way to stretch your buck. So we're just going to kind of let this come to a simmer, and then we're going to just add the chicken breast in, and then we're going to cook it and let it all, let the chicken cook fully. And this is gonna be so delicious. So we're at a boil, so I'm gonna turn the heat down. Just gonna give this little stir. It smells so awesome. Love it. Okay, so we're gonna go in with the chicken breast. I have about it's a little over 1.5 pounds of chicken to go in here. I love Bell & Evans. They just have the highest quality chicken. I've tried many a chicken, I have to say. And I love them. Their quality is just bar none. So anyway, we're just going to nestle those in here, and then I will keep this on like a nice medium heat. I'm gonna cover it, and I'm going to let it cook for probably about 20 to 25 minutes. And then when it's finished, I'm gonna be able to kind of pull apart and shred apart the chicken, and then place it back in the soup, and then add the orzo, and then we are going to taste it. I'm so excited. So I went ahead and I shredded up the chicken. I took it out, shredded it up with 2 forks, and I put it back into the soup. And I took out the little bouquet of herbs, the parsley and the dill and the thyme, because all of the flavor from this is in the soup now, so we don't need that in there anymore. And with the shredded chicken, I'm just gonna go ahead and add in a couple nice handfuls. I would say probably about 4 cups. So I'm gonna estimate, let's say about 4 cups of baby spinach. Leaves falling everywhere. Okay. We're just gonna kind of mix this all together. And then the spinach is gonna, it's gonna wilt up. And I am going to bring this back up to like a nice rolling simmer. And then I'm gonna put in a cup of orzo and let that cook. Now, if you're doing this way ahead of time, so like if you're making it in the morning and you're not eating it until the nighttime, the best thing to do actually with the pasta is in a separate pot, just boil the pasta, boil some water, cook the pasta, drain it, and then just put a little bit of olive oil on it, put it back in the pasta, put it back in the pot that you cook it in with a little bit of olive oil and toss it in there. And then when you go to serve up the soup, you can scoop the pasta, put it in the bottom of the bowl, and then put the soup on top. This way the orzo won't suck up all of the juice, all of the liquid that's in the pot here. See, but like as I'm just talking to you, all of that spinach just wilted so nicely. So, all right, so we are almost ready to try the soup. So I put it in a nice little soup bowl. As you can see, the snow is falling. It's beautiful scenery. Anyway, so we have got the orzo. You can see some of the orzo and the chunks of like the shredded chicken and spinach and the carrots. I'm like so excited. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed I don't burn my mouth. Trying to get a little bit of everything. Oh my God. The chicken is tender and juicy. You taste that little bit of lemon. It's not like a super powerful lemon, but it's like this little acidity. It's really, really good. Just a great little little add-on to, give it a little bit more depth of flavor. I love spinach. So I'm always gonna love spinach in soup. If you have escarole, use escarole. And even kale would work, honestly. Just chop it up, throw the kale in there. I mean, any kind of greens would really work with this. But you can really taste all the flavor from all those veggies. Like you taste the leek and you taste the celery, like everything just kind of comes together, and the herbs really gave it a great flavor. So like in just the broth, like I taste a little bit of the dill and I taste a little bit of the thyme. So this is pretty awesome. I hope you guys like it. I hope you make it. And I hope it's not gonna stick too bad tonight. Fingers crossed. Bye everybody.